Hey everybody, happy Thursday. Today we're going to be doing some fun Easter egg activity. Again, if you don't feel like celebrating Easter and you want to still decorate some eggs with us or even just do the circle challenge, feel free to follow along. So to get us started, I would suggest making sure you have a pencil, maybe an eraser, and a piece of paper. The thing that we're going to start off with is our sketches, because we always do that with most projects. And I want you to draw a bunch of eggs on it. What we're going to be doing is I'm going to just show you 6, but I'm also going to show you how to do the circle challenge with it. So the circle challenge is, well, today it's going to be an oval challenge because that's an egg shape. You want to think of anything that is either a circle or an oval shape that you can fill in the space with. Does that make sense? So it's basically, for example, a basketball is a circle shape. You could draw a basketball inside the circle. Now, you don't want the whole basketball. You want to change your circle into a basketball. So just for that example, you would draw 2 curved lines out, a line in the middle, touching all the edges of my egg, and then a curved line on the inside. So it makes the same design as a basketball. Then on the inside here, we would color it orange to make you really be able to tell it's a basketball. Now, do your best. If you type in circle challenge on Google, it'll give you some different ideas, different examples. Basically, you want to do that for every single egg that you can think of. That's the goal. So some other ideas I might have, a donut is a circle shape or an oval shape. So we use the outside shape as the outside of our donut. We draw that little dot on the inside. Some wavy lines. Maybe add some sprinkles. So the idea here is to get some good ideas down for your eggs, and then we can pick out which ones we like the best to actually show you. And I'm going to be showing you different techniques with each one. So that means I could show you, the ones I'll be showing are how to draw, how to use tape as a resist, how to use watercolor with a resist, how to add on things to your eggs, and also with hot glue. So you don't have to have those things out, just watch and follow along. Think of some fun ideas. If you saw that main page, I'm showing you how to draw that chick that's cracked inside the egg. So I just drew 2 zigzag lines, and then on the inside I'm going to draw some little eyes. And a beak. Now again, once they're colored, it'll look more like it, but you can start to see what's going on here. Let's do maybe a volleyball. Okay, and you could keep going on and on and on with this, but what I'm going to go ahead and do is skip ahead to our actual learning here today. Okay, first thing I'm going to show you how to do. So I have my eggs over here in my card, and I decided to do 6 of them for 6 different ideas. First thing I'm going to show you how to do is draw that chick that was on the main page of our YouTube. So what we're going to do here, hold your egg. Then with a pencil, you can draw a zigzag line to make sort of the crack. Roar. Could be mouth for a monster too, that'd be fun. Then on the inside, I'm going to draw a circle that stops and hops around those cracks. And if you want, it'd probably make it better if you added like little crackly marks that come off of each other to make it look like an actual crack of an egg. Same with over here. Looks like it's actually cracked, huh? And in the middle, you can do your triangle beak and those eyes up top. You can make the eyes however you want. Just gonna do that for now, okay? Now whenever we're getting to the Sharpie part, what I'm gonna go ahead and start doing is coloring it in. The biggest struggle I have with eggs is the rolling. They just decide to roll all the way around. So keep them tight in your hand, but try not to break them. Also, I'm using hard-boiled eggs. So hard-boiled means eggs that are not goopy whenever you open it. It means it's gonna be harder on the inside, so that if I do roll this egg around and it cracks, for real, not a drawing, that it wouldn't break and it wouldn't make a huge mess. When I'm done with these, I'm actually gonna crack them all open and make some deviled eggs, which I can share a recipe for you if you'd like. Make sure you don't hard boil your eggs on your own. You talk to an adult. I don't wanna see anyone getting hurt from hot water. So I'm just using my Sharpie and coloring in my egg. There we go, my little chick. Now I think I'll use an orange for the beak. Like I said earlier, you don't have to do pencil first, but I just think it looks a lot better when you do. Okay, next is to fill that inside in with your black. So I'm going to follow the outside. Color it in. This technique that I'm showing you right now is like the, I'd call it the optical illusion one, because it really does make the illusion that the egg is cracked and that there's a little baby chick inside there. Ta-da! So you have your picture, and it really does look really nice when you have it finished. I think I need a little bit of black up here. Show the top of the chick's head. Is that better? Yeah, that's better. Maybe it needs a beak outline too. There you go. So that's the first idea for the eggs. If you add more crack marks on the other sides, it'll look super fun and realistic. Really cool cracked egg look. Like I said, if you want to add more, go ahead. How I add more is I just make a line and then I stop and make a new one that comes out of the side of it. Okay, so you can make whatever you want. You could even make a whole nother drawing on the back, because the back is like a blank slate basically when there's nothing back there. You can make some of those cracks go up, make some cracks go down, however you want. It's your egg picture. So I think we're all ready for the next one, which is going to be the donut. With the donut, I'm going to show you how to do it with watercolor first, with watercolor paints. So some people like to actually dye their eggs. For me, I'm a little bit of a perfectionist. So when I dye eggs, the dye doesn't always go where I want it to go. So I think that for me, it's easier to paint. So what I'm going to do first is, Sharpie markers aren't made with water material. So whenever you put water, like egg dye, or if you put watercolor paint on it, they're not going to get messed up. So I'm going to grab a tan Sharpie for the base, if I can find one. There we go. I'm going to make, now this is a way to do an egg technique where it's a combination, and I think I'm going to use, I'll use the top of the egg. So I'm finding the top of the egg and making a circle. Lighter than I thought. Okay, and then I'm going to make a circle about halfway throughout the egg. To do a perfect circle, all I have to do is twist it in my palm. And it'll come around and attach to the same spot as long as you held it. There we go. So I have the outside of our donut. Now I can go ahead and start painting. So again, painting with watercolor on an egg is quite difficult because you have to get all your colors working right and try not to get to fall on the outside. It's a little tricky. So I'm just painting the donut part, the breading part of the donut right now, which is the outside. You can sort of see it like this. Then I'm going to come back with a bright color. What color should my donut be? Blue, pink, brown for like a chocolate maybe. I think pink will be nice. I'll go ahead and start that, and I'm just going to make a wavy line for this. Okay, it's getting close. Now I'm going to just take that pink and go all the way to my center. Try not to mix them. Now I think I want to make that a little bit brighter, so I'm going to go ahead and add some more bright pink pigment to it. So this is sort of starting to be like an optical illusion. If you look at it like this, you can see that it's starting to look like a donut. I might add just a tiny smidge of that tan color on the inside too. Okay, now we definitely need the sprinkles to make this work, so I'm going to go ahead and do that with some really bright colors. I'm just going to take my flat brush and make a print with it. Go. Starting to get there. The fun part about this this decorating stuff is you can use pretty much any kind of materials for egg decorating because you don't eat the actual shell of an egg. I've also seen a fun egg cracking tutorial. I'd suggest looking that up online. It's super cool. You crack the egg just a little bit on each side before you dye it, and then the inside of the egg looks really fun. Real close. I think maybe I need a little bit more red on those spots I have my red. There we go. It's nice and bright. I love bright colors, don't you? And there you have your donut egg. He looks pretty fun. I like that a lot. I might have made the pink part not as wavy as I'd like it to be, but it's a really cool like optical illusion because from the side you're like, what kind of thing is happening there? You could probably even make like an ice cream cone down here to fool someone that the bottom is an ice cream cone and the top is a donut. But it's just a fun way to sort of trick the eye when you're doing this kind of thing. All right, I can put him back. The next thing we're gonna do is I'm gonna show you how to do cutouts with tape. So if you use tape, like I use this kind, the freezer tape, I think it works the best because it's nice and thin, easy to cut out. So I'm going to take my tape and cut out whatever I want with it. Some people like to do maybe like a letter for their name, or you might want to write the word Easter, or like have a bunny face and ears. I'm going to cut out the letter H. There we go. You can cut it out all fancy if you want. The tape is really nice. It helps with a lot of different stuff. Okay, so I drew it. Now I can go ahead and cut with my scissors. You have a parent around. It's going to be helpful for them if maybe they cut out a really good stencil for you and then you add the details later. All right, so I'm cutting the H out. For you guys, again, like I said, you can do whatever you want. You could do a bunny to really celebrate Easter. Could do even like a cloud. That would be a fun way to keep the white, because that's what we're trying to do here. Whatever you want to be white on your page, you're going to cover it with tape. Tape's a little tricky to cut too. Okay. All right, so I got my H, and I got a lot of tape. I'm going to try to move that out of the way. And then I can just stick that on my egg. You can put it wherever you want, on the top, on the side, on the bottom, sideways, front ways, however you wish. There we go. Oops, comes a little bit far together. I need to move that. See, when I did that, it almost made it look like an A, so I'm going to scoot it over just because of how the egg is shaped. There we go. All right, looks good. Some other things that I can add, maybe stripes would look kind of cool. If you take a whole piece of tape, now I think this still works for office tape, but it won't work if you are doing watercolor over top. If you're doing Sharpie, office tape would work. Just that clear Scotch tape. Oops, sorry. You can cut out some stripes. Okay, let's see how far I can get this to go. When I put stripe all the way around, it naturally, just because of the egg shape, will go at an angle. So if you want to make it straight, you'll have to fix that. But I'm good with it going at an angle. Then it actually comes back up. Almost there. I almost made it long enough to cut some more out or use this guy. Go. Then when it gets close to my H, I'm going to cut him anyways. So now I'm just pushing down all the edges of the tape so nothing gets inside there. Now there's two ways to do this. Like I said, you can do it with Sharpie and you can follow the same lines and go over top of it, or you can do it with watercolor. I'm going to show you both on this egg so that you can see how that works. Use that purple. I'm just going to go around this. So I'm just coloring around my stuff. If you want to go on top of it, you can. It'll create a really fun pattern at the end. Okay, so I got that whole bottom Sharpied. I'm going to go ahead and add some more colors to the bottom of it. Maybe we'll do, oops, he's falling away. We'll do the same color up top. That could be fun. Best part about this is you can do this part fast, and then you can be a little bit sloppy. You can afford to. Okay, so it looks kind of fun so far. It looks a little sloppy right now, but I promise it'll look better in a second. Add light purple. Oh, it's almost like a pinkish tone. I like that. One technique I'm not going to show you today, but you could do, it's super fun. If you take a crayon and use it as what's called a resist, and you paint over top of it, crayon works just like the tape does. It stops the watercolor or the stuff from getting in there. Okay. Now for the top. Okay, looks good so far. All right, now for that middle area. So got my whole egg colored on both sides. Just for that middle H, I'm going to show you how to do the watercolor part. All right. I actually did the same kind of thing for a card I made up here that you can see. These two, this one I put tape on the inside, This one I put tape on the outside so that it could make like a bunny on a card. You could do the same thing if you're making cards. All right, pink and purple, and I think we'll do this like bright purple. Let's get some more. There we go. I think in the middle here, I'm going to switch to a darker purple. So it blends out really nicely. And if you have areas you don't like on your Sharpie part, you can go over that with paint. It'll fill it in just a little bit for you. Careful your fingers don't get inside the paint though. Doesn't usually look the best when that happens. Okay, all right, I think we're ready to take some of it off. Okay, so again, I'm gonna hold the spot that's not as painted. I'm gonna pull from the corner. So there's my stripe, my Sharpie stripe. Going all the way around, it turns out to be white. Okay. And try to pull from the H. Be careful on this part. This is the part that a lot of eggs get cracked at because you drop them and it doesn't look the best. Cool, looks good. Now it doesn't turn out perfect just because of the way the tape is laying on the egg, but you can wipe it a little bit with your finger if you really want to get it perfect. Personally, I really like that rustic type look. I'm actually going to add another layer on top now. Now that that's dry, I can take and do like a light pink. Just so that it doesn't stay white. A really bright color would have probably been better. What about, ooh, that yellow looks cool. Awesome. There you have it. There you got your egg with your stripes. You could do different kinds of thing on there too. Next thing I'm going to show you is going to be how to do a cutout. So if I'm making, for example, like a, let me grab paper. If I'm making a rabbit is what I'm going to show you. So I just grabbed a little paper scrap and my egg. What I'm going to do with the rabbit is make actual cutout bunny ears. So I'm going to draw them first. Let's make my bunny blue. Blue. Make 2 ears, just with upside down letter V's. Get out a pink inside. Okay. Then you want to cut those out. Oops. Now I left a little bit of room underneath it because that's going to be helpful whenever we attach it to our egg. Now you can attach it however you want. You could use hot glue, you could use tape, you could use regular glue. There we go. And then I'm I'm going to fold over that bottom part, the part I don't need anymore. This way it'll stick up off of our bunny. I'm just going to put those to the side right now because we want to make our bunny face before we do anything further. So when I make a bunny face, if you watched my bunny video the other day, I'm going to put that same blue. You make a big triangle nose right there in the middle. Okay? Then you can make 2 wee little eyes up top, or you can make big eyes if you wish. Then we do a smile, and we connect that up to the nose. So we have a bunny face. Now it doesn't look too much like a bunny just yet because we don't have all the details on there. So a couple of last minute things you need. Color in that nose. A lot of the times when I do bunnies, I like to show some really big teeth. I'm a Looney Tunes fan. I really love Bugs Bunny, so I always put, I like to put big old bunny teeth on there. I always do that with just a box with a line through it. There you go, cute little rabbit. Now if you want to add little eyelashes, you could do that just with lines on the side of his eyes, like so. And then you can add those ears. So however you plan on doing it, with glue, tape, whatever you want. I'm going to use hot glue just because I have it out next to me. I'm just going to dab a little bit on the bottom and stick it on his head. Again, if you're using hot glue without a parent around, please be super careful. I really recommend you have a parent around, especially if you're under 3rd grade. You need to have someone around to make sure, just in case you get hurt, that they can take care of you. Okay. There we go. Looks cute. And if you want to add a little body, you could too. I'm just going to keep the head. So what I would do now is if you have some sort of egg stand that you could make a body out of, or some paper, that'd be really fun. All right. Next thing I'm going to show you, since I have this guy out, is how to do a hot glue resist. This one's pretty easy. You just make whatever designs you want in hot glue, and then you paint or Sharpie over top. So I'm going to make, I'm going to do some polka dots. Okay, I didn't do it to the back just because I want to save us some time, but watch what happens. Ah, stuck to my finger. I'm going to pull off any extra strings that we don't want. Make sure that those circles are actually circles. I have a couple over here that aren't a little bit crooked, as you can see. Otherwise, they're not going to really turn out like polka dots if they're not circles, right? Okay, so I got them all on. Next thing I can do is grab either Sharpies and go around them, or you can do the paint. I'm going to do the paint just because it works, I think, a little bit better. Okay, for this one I think I'm going to do like a sunset type wave from one color to the next. Let's start with some red on this side. I'm just going to go right over top everything. Then we'll do red, orange. Then we'll do orange. A little more of that orange coming off. Then orange, yellow. Just a quick layer of that. And then last but not least, I'm going to add yellow right there on the bottom. Make sure you get right in there next to your hot glue spots or it might get a little mixed up there. Now you want to do your best to let it dry before you do anything else. But I'm going to go over with a second layer just so it really gets all over there. And the only reason I'm not doing the back is just for time and also because I need somewhere to hold it. So it's looking pretty good so far. Like I said, you could also do this with food dye. Works just as easily. Food dye is just taking food dye, putting it in water, and dunking your egg in there. Gotta be hot water. Okay, so we're almost there. If you take watercolor while it's wet or food dye, and you blow it around, you can get a fun dipped design. See how I have some fun drips on there? If I just add water to this side, I can probably get some more drips too. I did that with my card back here too. Which one was it? This guy right here. I made some really fun drip designs and some splatters too. I think we're pretty good on that. Now I can go ahead and start pulling some of these hot glue pieces off. So I'm just gonna, comes right off, just like that. Make sure you don't pull it too much or you'll get some of that, that egg with it. So you see how it makes a really nice polka dot design. Okay. All right. And last but not least, we have our last one. For this one, ooh, it's got a wet. I'm going to show you how to do one last design. Sorry, it's a little wet. I'm going to wipe it off. Which is a splatter technique. Now, splatter paint is not taking your paintbrush and just throwing it all over there. You do need to have sort of a method to it. So what I like to do is start with my light colors, then go to dark colors. And instead of just throwing your paintbrush around, making a mess everywhere, we're actually going to tap on the egg itself to make those really cool things. So you can do this with watercolor or with some dyes. I'm going to use, maybe we'll go with, I haven't used green yet. We can use some greens. Start with the light green. We need lots of water for this to work. I'm just going to do this. Oops, need more water. See how it's starting to splatter on there? If you have somewhere to set it that it's going to stay still, it also works if you tap it on your finger. The last way you can do it is taking your paintbrush and actually pulling the paint and pushing it back down, moving it around. You get really small dots that way, but it does still look pretty fun. So I can turn my egg. This works really good as a final coat, like if you dye the whole egg and then you do other coats on top. Hopefully it'll stay still for me. Maybe. So the thing with this guy, whenever you do different color layers, the best part is if you mix the layers together. Like if I do a layer of light green and then I do a dark green on top, it's going to give it your piece a lot of depth. There you go. Some more controlled splatters there. It's looking really cool. Green on eggs almost makes it look like it's a rotten egg or something like that. So if you want to do something fun like those, you could. There we go. That's a fun bright green. Make it look a little less rotten. Or maybe you want to make a rotten egg for someone you think is rotten. Maybe I should make this for my sister. Think she'd find that funny? All right, he looks pretty good. I'm not going to do the back just because we don't have a lot of time, but I hope you enjoyed our lesson today. I'm going to go ahead and show you the eggs we made are pretty darn cute. You can try any of those methods you want at home with whatever kinds of designs you want. All right, I can send some more to our Google Classroom if you really like, all right? Okay, guys, you have a wonderful day, a wonderful week. I'll see you for our last YouTube video tomorrow before our Easter theme is up, okay? All right, bye, guys. Have a great week. See ya.